Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another edition of Wake Up and Win. It is the end of the week. It is Friday, the 10th of June, and I want to start with asking, how are you? How are you? On a scale of 1 to 10, I had to ask myself this question this week because I found that through my my desire and my ambition to reach certain goals, that I could be so focused on that I just trudge through and just keep battling and just pushing through things, that I don't actually stop to take the time and ask myself, how am I doing? How am I doing? So what I did, I've had quite a few ups and downs this week, I can't lie. So stopping and asking myself that question this week, I was able to ask myself, okay, I'm at a 3 today. How can I make it a 5? How can I make this day just that much better than yesterday? You know, and it gives you a new focus for the morning. It allows you to release the burdens from the day before and focus and create something new for the day. So in doing that, I was able to create a new perspective, and as each day went by, it got better throughout the week. So Friday, I'm about 7, 8 right now. So I want you to do that. Give yourself a score from 1 to 10. Ask yourself how you're doing. If it's a low number, ask yourself, how can I move that, 2 more numbers up? If you're at a high number, how can you maintain it, right? So that's what I want to start with today. Another topic. So the topic today is imposter syndrome. And this came about because I remember I had a conversation earlier with a friend, and we were discussing, how far we've come. Look at what we're doing now compared to where we were last year. Because last year, I tell you, imposter syndrome was my story. That was my story. That was my story. I packed it up in a bag and carried it around with me everywhere I went. I can't do this. I'm not good enough for this. I don't think I should even be here. I'm going to look like this if I... It was just, you know? And I thought, no, I think we need to talk about this, because a few conversations I've even had this year, it comes up time and time again. And one of the common factors that I found with people who suffer from, I shouldn't say suffer from, who deal with imposter syndrome, is that we are often doing things that no one in our immediate circle, friends or family, that we don't have, it's not normal for us. Okay, we are trying to break barriers. We are trying to do things outside of the life that was probably designed for us. And we tend to shrink back into that mode because we start making moves. And then you get in a space. Well, for me, I started to go into spaces where I'd be surrounded by people who've done such amazing things in their respective industries, and then being surrounded by people who have done amazing things in the industry that I want to go into. And not that I was comparing myself to them, but it just felt like the spaces that I was trying to break into were not designed for somebody like me and of my background. It's like every time I went home, I was reminded of who I was and where I came from. And that type of life was not for me, was not designed for me. So I really had to do some really deep work in my mindset and my subconscious to really break free of the mold. When we have grown up in a certain society, certain way, certain environment, as children, you are molded to be and to fit into certain environments. And you really have to break that mold. And one of the ways in which I did that, well, a couple of the ways which I'm going to share with you today, in which I broke through that stigma, that story that I was carrying around of, not being good enough and feeling like an imposter. The first thing I did was talk about it. I recognized the power of our words and what we say about ourselves. And usually what we say about ourselves is a reflection of how we see ourselves. And I knew I wasn't the things that I was saying about myself, but part of me just wanted to hold on to it. So I spoke about it with my accountability partners. I eventually spoke about it with my coach, who helped me unpack a lot of the limiting beliefs that I had, the beliefs that I had about who I was. And yeah, it just really helped me unpack it. So that's something that you might need to do. If you have a trusted friend that can hold you accountable, a coach or a therapist, even if it really goes that deep, because sometimes it goes really deep and it opens up new worlds and new boxes that you might have to explore through therapy. Another way, the second thing that I did was I started to document my journey. And every time I hit a milestone, it was a reason for me to say, I deserve to be in this space. Now my list is long. I write so much things of why I deserve to be in the space that I am currently trying to occupy. And then the third thing I did was I just had to start taking action. It sounds like, okay, how do I do that? Literally, just do it. Embrace the Nike slogan and just do it. Practice. My last video is practice makes progress. And I love those words that my coach always used to say. That one of my coaches always says that at the end of one of our training sessions, practice makes progress. You are not going to always feel like you're the best. You're not always going to have great, fantastic days. But when you have practiced enough that you can hold a conversation, or you can be in spaces and you just know your stuff, right? The level of confidence that comes from practicing, right? It will overcome anything. So even if you do feel like, oh, you're going to get nervous. You might get nervous. For me, I want to be speaking on stages. I might get nervous so much, right? Before I go on that stage. Doesn't mean that I'm not capable of doing that thing. That's just nerves, right? You might be, looking to go apply for a job for a position that you've always wanted, but you've not felt like you've had the guts to apply for it, right? You're gonna feel nervous, but just do it, right? Because I tell you, once you start taking action, the feedback you get is going to help you just grow even more, right? So those are 3 things I'm going to leave you with. If you are somebody dealing with imposter syndrome or feeling like an imposter, talk about it to somebody, either a coach or a therapist, either one of those two, because they are trained and skilled enough to be able to help you navigate what you are feeling, especially when it comes to your words, right? Secondly, write down a list of why you deserve to be in that space and own it. Own that space. Own what you have written. Don't write it from a place of, maybe. No, write it from a place of, I am here because, I deserve to be here because, right? Own it. And then thirdly, take action. Small steps every single day. Take action that will put you in those spaces, and your confidence and your ability to be able to, step into those spaces, it's gonna go. Hence why I can do YouTube videos now. All right? Trust me, I've been wanting to do this for the longest time. I don't know if I shared that with you I think I did in the first video, and I'm here now. All right? So Have a lovely Friday, and I shall see you on Monday. Keep winning and just keep being great. All right. I shall speak to you soon. Bye.